I'm here for a week of production in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. You can see behind me, there's the Superdome, and then over here is where the Pelicans play. And I am in the International Broadcast Compound. There's about 15 international broadcast trucks that are in this compound. This is the biggest production I've ever seen. This is my first Super Bowl, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what we're doing this week. We got in on Tuesday, and we started load in on Wednesday morning. We did a stadium walkthrough, which is pretty normal for something like this, and looked at all the positions. We're loading in 4 positions for this show. We have a reverse 50, we have a field position, we have a booth position, and we have a super slow motion position. We have a crew that came in from Germany, and we have a production truck that we're sending all the signals to. We loaded in all of the equipment into the stadium, and it was pretty restrictive. So I can't show you a ton of footage from inside the stadium because the NFL had quite a few restrictions on what I could shoot inside. And in fact, they're very restrictive on the Super Bowl for what you can and cannot shoot inside that stadium. So it took us a full day just to get all of our gear to the positions and get the cameras built up. It took us another day to do technical checking for all the signals, make sure everything is happy, make sure Germany can see everything that they need to see. And then the third day was more technical checking and actual a little bit of rehearsal. And today we had all the talent in, and we did the final rehearsals where the talent was sitting at all the positions and talking and communicating back and forth. My main job was setting up and managing the booth, and they put me in charge of all of the technical aspects of the booth to make sure that it's all laid out correctly and everything's working. And I'm the point person up there during the game. Again, this crew that I'm on is a crew of Americans, and we're working with the Germans, and our job is to help them get all the gear set and be their technical eyes and ears to make sure it's all in good working order. So during the game, I'm just going to be up there making sure everything is working. For lighting, we have 3 airy sky panels that are across the back, and they're providing light when we put the table in, because the booth is going to be doing 2 things. It's going to be providing a set before the game with the white RTL table, and that is going to be all of the talent sitting at that table. And then we push the table back. They're going to call the game from the front counter. So we've got essentially 2 setups. So there are in-ear controllers that have a Dante input, and they have an XLR input for a microphone, and then they have a headphone input so that the talent can hear in their ears. We were testing it out and making sure it all worked, and it did, so that when the talent came in, everything was good. And then we have a set of monitors across the front that we set up that can be routed to do different things depending on what they want. And the NFL provides a monitor that can be stats or Fox or the world feed, so we got that all set up. It was kind of a game of chess to get everything into the right place and get everything working as expected, if you will. We had to change it a couple times, but I think we landed on it finally. I really like coming and working these kinds of events because the energy is just great, and it's just really special to be part of an event this big. This is the biggest event I've ever been part of. My journey to get here has been a long one. I've been in the business for 25 years, and this is my first Super Bowl. So, you know, it just takes time, it takes networking, it takes being in the right place at the right time for someone to ask you to be here. And for me, that's just how it worked out. I also helped set up the super slow motion camera, which is a Sony camera with a really long lens on it. And that's just going to be sitting in the end zone, capturing high frame rate, super slow motion footage. I didn't set up the reverse 50, but the reverse 50 is just up there so that it can cross shoot the booth and get a front shot of the booth, plus it can be a wide scenic. So the way that RTL is producing this show is they're taking a mixture of feeds from Fox and then their own feeds that what we installed and we ran to the truck. And all of that is going back to Germany for them to create the show in German. There's 6 on-air hosts that are here that are going to divide up the responsibilities of being on the field and being in the booth and all that stuff. Again, the technology on this is pretty fascinating, the way that they're using Dante and Riedel audio systems to connect it all together with Germany And everybody that's going to be running the show on show day, which is tomorrow, is all going to be in German. So the director will be talking in German to all the camera operators and all the talent, and they'll be cutting the show in Germany, which is pretty awesome. Behind me, there's 15 trucks just in the international compound doing this event. There's a whole nother compound where all the Fox trucks are doing the main feed. And then there's a village of containers over where all of the production offices are, double stacked containers where everybody is doing their production offices out of. This is one of 2 videos I shot while I'm down here in New Orleans. The other one is just general tips and tricks about how to be more successful in freelance. If you really like this type of content, make sure you like and subscribe, because I've been trying to take you behind the scenes of these productions that I'm doing. I have another one where I was at the NFC Championship that you might want to check out, but let's get back to the Super Bowl. The Superdome is a fantastic venue. They say it's one of the biggest domed stadiums in the world. And when you walk into it, it just has this massive effect where it's like, wow, I am in a cool space. We did spend some time walking around New Orleans at night. We went down to the French Quarter. That's not really my thing, but you know, when you're in New Orleans, you should go down and check it out. Lots of cool stuff happening down there, people and parties and just people having a great time, because I mean, it's the Super Bowl, it's Mardi Gras, and it was great to just walk down into the French Quarter, down on Bourbon Street, just take in the sights and sounds and all the crazy people. That was really fun. The city is just so decked out and ready for the Super Bowl. There's just massive signs everywhere. We walked through the Super Bowl experience before it opened, so we could see a little bit of what was going on over there, but not with people in it, so it was kind of boring. But we did a little bit of a walkthrough around there. All the buildings downtown have tons of Super Bowl signage all over them, and it's just great to feel the energy of this town surrounding the Super Bowl. You know, as I'm walking around and I'm talking to all these guys, there's just a couple themes that come out amongst these freelancers, and that is that it's hard, but it's fun. So freelance work is definitely very hard, but it can be a lot of fun because you can end up right here at the Superdome for the Super Bowl. I mean, it doesn't get cooler than that very often. So, you know, if I wasn't freelance, I wouldn't be able to do all this wide variety of things. But then there is the struggle of continuing to find the work. This game here is just really choreographed all the way down to the minute. They are rehearsing everything. And there is no detail left untouched at this stadium. I mean, the entrance tunnels have RE sky panels in them for light. They have considered every angle for this. Every angle that the cameras are going to shoot is going to see something that is just perfectly choreographed. This whole thing is nuts. So it's game day. We just got in through the media entrance. The energy here is amazing. So after we grab a quick coffee and stuff, then we're gonna head up, check all the positions, make sure everything is technically sound. I would have to say, I want the Eagles to win. I'm in that camp. But you know, 5 days of production for a game, I mean, come on now. It's awesome to see something like this come together and to be part of it. I personally am not much of a football fan, but it's really hard not to feel the excitement of what's going on here. It's kind of like a video production freelancer's heaven down here. Millions and millions of dollars of equipment. 2 weeks of preparation just on the technical stuff. I'm sure that the actual people planning the event are probably like a year of preparation or more. And I'm looking forward to the game. So we just finished up a couple live hits to Germany. Some of them were live to air and some of them were live to tape. And Germany is 7 hours ahead of Central Time Zone, so they were cutting into most likely the evening news. Again, they're all talking in German, so it's hard to understand what's happening. but all the technology worked. All week we've been on a restriction where we can't shoot the field, so it's pretty exciting to see the stadium ready. It looks amazing, it sounds amazing, the energy is great, and starting around 3 o'clock, I think we cannot be in certain corridors because President Trump is coming to the game. So certain corridors are blocked off. There are Secret Service everywhere, and this is going to get interesting. Okay, so I'm walking back into the stadium here. This is the space where they're going to bring everybody in that's famous and everything. So we're going to go through security here in just a second. And when we go through security, they do a little scanning thing and tell you whether or not you can go in. Walk it into the main tunnel here. The field is right up there, but you can't see it because it's all blocked off. So I'm going to go to the left here. That's another field entrance right there. Haven't found the Chiefs locker room yet, but here's the Eagles locker room. Okay, so the game's about to start. I had to find a place to hide in a staircase because it is really loud in there. I measured the SPL at about 100 decibels. That's crazy. RTL did their first set of live hits, both between the field and the booth. It all worked out like it was supposed to. Next up, I have to find a place to hide, maybe catch a little bit of the game. I gotta be near the booth so I can support it technically. There's just not a lot of space in there. It's really tight. And game on. Let's hope the Eagles win. So the halftime show just finished, and that was pretty cool to watch. I mean, they moved a ton of gear in there and turned the entire place into a concert, which was pretty neat. I guess opinions are varied on whether it was good or bad, but technically extremely impressive. Eagles are up 24-0, and the place is electric. The place loves the Eagles, and it's pretty great. I don't know if you can hear it behind me, but the crowd is into it, and it's going well. We did a couple quick set changes in the booth, and we're good to go. And that's a wrap on the 2025 Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Eagles for really putting on a show. I mean, they dominated the game. So if you're a Chiefs fan, you're probably not too happy right now. But we're up in the booth and we've pretty much finished everything up. We're waiting for a few more cases to get up here so that we can pack all this up nice and neat and tidy, get it back to the truck. As you can see, the field is still a little bit in celebration mode, but not quite. It's all finished up down there. You can see the confetti down there, people cleaning everything up. Stadium is a lot quieter than it was an hour ago. If you're a freelancer, I just want to encourage you to stay with it, to keep strong, to keep finding leads, to not lose hope, and just know that there are gigs out there and you will find them. You just have to keep looking, keep networking, and on every single gig that you're on, you need to do your best. You need to bring your best attitude. You need to make sure that people can remember you for good reasons, okay? Don't make sure people can remember you for bad reasons. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing this behind the scenes look at the Super Bowl. I had a great week here, and we will see you in the next one.